coffee capital of the world, it only felt appropriate to start this day with a coffee. If you can't tell by me saying coffee, we are in Melbourne, which apparently has more independent cafes per capita in the whole world. And already just walking to our first coffee spot, we've passed like
maybe 5, 6
literally
plus.
So many. There's all these like teeny little coffee shops around all these laneways, and they're all just so cool and so different. I think we're already quite spoilt with coffee.
Yeah.
Because we have a coffee machine in the van, and Wehan makes us amazing coffee. But let's see what it's like.
Also, if you know of any better coffee shops in Melbourne than this one, sorry, we looked at like 10 different blogs and this one was mentioned, like majority of them. So we decided to come to this one. Okay, Lydia, let me know.
Ready?
I would consider myself somewhat of a coffee connoisseur. So
you're really going to claim that when you can't do coffee art.
I can't. Well, that.
You have to do coffee
Lydia,
art. It's like the essential part of coffee.
Tell me where the coffee art is in this.
Well, it's a takeaway container. Of course, it doesn't have coffee art. It actually.
Oh. They even bother with coffee art.
See?
On the takeaway. Okay, yeah, I take the back.
They already have bonus.
I didn't even see them do that.
Really?
That was so
That's
quick.
How good he was.
Yeah. So
Professional. A true coffee connoisseur.
yeah. Well, I mean,
We didn't put sugar in it though.
the art is in the flavor. It's not in the presentation. In my
And you think
eyes.
I like cheap coffee, Coles coffee beans?
Hey, they were actually really good. I've tried a lot of coffee beans.
Yeah, it's actually alright. I would have put a sugar in it though.
Yeah.
We forgot to ask for a sugar, but it's actually a good temp. It's not too hot.
Really? I'm just gonna put it out there.
No!
Good coffee is just good coffee. I don't think you can get anything better.
That
than
means
good
you're
coffee.
not a coffee connoisseur. People can pick up like little hints
Okay.
in the beans.
Yeah, so I taste the hazelnut and the. I don't know.
It's nice. It's good coffee.
It's good coffee, yeah.
Yeah, I'm confused at why I've seen so many hat businesses around
I've
here.
seen like 4 shops already just for like hats. Like, I know I'm not trendy, but like.
It's a lot.
Buy hats.
Alright, we are at Flinders Station. Iconic Flinders Station just behind us, and it's apparently the oldest railway station in Australia.
And apparently the busiest in the southern hemisphere.
And we probably look so wild right now because we're stood here filming and getting shots, and everyone around us is just on their daily commute.
Like, I'm just getting shots of buildings and people are like looking like I'm
like, what
spotting
is he
something
doing?
like a koala or something.
A year ago, this was me on my morning commute, not in Melbourne, but very similar.
Yeah.
Oh dear. What have you found? Do you want me to take the camera? Oh gosh. You look ridiculous.
I'm not gonna commit.
You're gonna fall.
I definitely will fall.
The use of the chair is at your own risk, Wehan. So another thing that Melbourne is really well known for is street art, graffiti, random laneways just being completely covered. And we are going to head to the main ones like Hosier Lane and ACDC Lane and everything. But we literally just keep finding random laneways filled with street art and graffiti. I feel like people either love it or hate it. I think it's really cool because it lights them up.
It does.
Especially when it's
'cause
more art instead of graffiti, I reckon.
Yeah, and I mean, it really brings vibrancy and colour and character to old buildings.
Well, not old. Boring buildings.
Boring?
Because there's a lot of really cool historic buildings here
That's true.
that we've loved checking out, and those ones are amazing. But these laneways that otherwise would be quite dark and dingy are like bright because of all the street art.
Apologies to any Melburnians if we pronounce Melbourne wrong. I feel like we watched a couple of videos on Melbourne, and like a lot of people make the conscious effort to like say Melbourne and whatever, and I feel like we're now consciously thinking about it even though we could pronounce it properly beforehand.
That's embarrassing. We started heading off and I was like, all right, let's head to Hosier Lane, and then there's a street sign at the end of this that says Hosier Lane, so apparently we are here.
I mean,
apparently it's the most iconic, the most well known, and there's still a lot of really cool pieces and it lights up the street and looks cool. But I'm a little bit disappointed.
Was Elvis Civil Sea for the other ones, but...
Yeah, we've still got a few other streets to check out, but I feel like this one is known as the most iconic.
Yeah, I think even in like, they've done street art for like movies and whatever.
Yeah, they use this street.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of the big pieces that we had seen online here have been covered up with graffiti. See, these ones are a little less graffiti-fied and a little more arty.
I never thought I would say this, but there's Elvis Presley as an email.
I'm genuinely so sad. I saw this one online and I thought it was adorable of the sugar glider. And who would cover it like that?
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. You'd have a dingo, however. Someone forgot their shoes.
Should we
Get a new pair. Replace them with those.
So we've read online at an end of a street, it's called the Paris End, and I'm pretty sure we are here because there's all these bougie European brands like, well, Rolex. I don't think Rolex is European, but there's like Moncler, Prada, Fendi, whatever.
Places we will never shop at.
Places we'll never shop at. I thought it was already legal.
This one for sure is my favorite. It's just on this one building, but there's so much detail. The more you look, the more you see. It's so green and lush. It reminds me of the Otways. This is my favorite.
What I love about this one is that it's right next to a Taco Bell. I do have to say the overall vibe of Melbourne has been pretty calm and like cool.
Only some of the areas were a little busy when people were like commuting to work.
I mean, even then, it hasn't been that bad. And yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. Not gonna lie.
I'm enjoying
Even
it.
like walking through, it's not been like. Sometimes when you walk, it's quite exhausting. But I feel like there's so much, and like everything's so different that it's just like done. You're already there, and you're like, oh, I'm here. Oh,
there's
cool,
so
I'm here.
many like main historical buildings with like super modern skyscrapers,
Yeah.
and then you've got random pieces of art everywhere, so it just keeps you engaged, I think.
Yeah.
We're exploring Fitzroy Gardens, and right in the centre of it they have this scarred tree, which is an Aboriginal cultural site, which are all protected by law and everything, but it's a protected site because this is a scarred tree, and the scars on the tree are from the local Aboriginal people removing bark to make canoes and shields and loads of other things. So it's a really cool spot to check out. It's interesting, they've actually put this like metal structure on top, and I'm sure it must be to protect it. I'm kind of wondering what it's protecting it from. And just on the top?
Maybe it's the possums.
They don't want the possums going in it. Maybe.
There's actually a sign there, and you can see it all over quite a lot of trees actually. They have these like plastic or like sort of like a film covering the bases of the trees, and that's to stop common brushtail and common ringtail. There's too many possums. But it's to stop them from climbing up trees and to actually manage the level of amount of possums that they have here, because they actually eat the vegetation on the trees and then the trees die out. So some trees they have covered and protected, and others they don't.
But we love the possums.
We love the possums, of course.
We just checked out Cook's Cottage, which we didn't get too many shots of because there's a school excursion going on currently. But Cook's Cottage was actually transferred from the UK, and it was built by explorer Captain Cook's dad in the, I'm gonna get this wrong.
1755.
Yeah, 1755, I think. But it was built then by his dad, and there was a philanthropist in Australia who actually brought it and shipped it over to Australia. And the way they shipped it is they took it all apart, labelled each brick by number, even got ivy cuttings from the original house, and then just built it all back together here.
Yeah. So technically, it's the oldest house in Australia.
Technically. But they rebuilt it here. But Cook actually never lived in it. It was just that his dad built it.
Yeah.
And that connection to him was enough for them to be like, yep, let's buy it and bring it over.
So in the same gardens, there's this little model city called Model Tudor Village. Basically, this village was gifted by the city of Lambeth in England to the city of Melbourne because Victoria supported them by giving them food in the Second World War. So we're now in the State Library, hence why I'm being quiet. But it's beautiful architecture, and we thought that we should share that in the library, in one of the galleries, they have Ned Kelly's armor. It's quite funny because the museum, I believe it was, asked the police department if they could have Ned Kelly's armor, and the police department said, hey, we don't have it, but here's Steve Hart's armor. And after doing some research and whatever, they actually found out that it wasn't Steve Hart's armor, it was actually Ned Kelly's armor. That's quite interesting seeing Ned Kelly's armor. It was actually from his final siege, and as well around the armor in the gallery there's also a letter that Ned Kelly wrote explaining why he did what he did. And this letter was actually written after he robbed a bank in New South Wales.
So for anyone who doesn't know who Ned Kelly is, he's basically a huge part of Australian culture and history, and he's seen as an anti-hero. There's either people who see him as a hero or people who see him as a villain, basically. And there's a journalist who had this quote which I really loved, is what makes Ned Kelly a legend is not that everyone sees him the same, but that everyone sees him. And I think that's a good way of putting it, is some people love him, some people hate him, but everyone sees him.
So we've decided to get away from the busy hustle and bustle, and we come across the other side of the Yarra River to a little riverside park.
Little picnic area. It's really cute, actually.
It is.
It's just a grass area. Lots of people are just hanging out,
There's cityscape
having
in the
lunch.
background.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
But since Melbourne is so multicultural, we thought it would only be appropriate to have food from different cultures. So we've got lamb and chicken souvlaki? I hope I'm saying that right, which is Greek. And they're in pittas.
Yeah.
Which I'm super excited about. Apparently they're yum.
Celiac approved place as well.
Yes, celiac approved for my celiac friends out there. It's a bit messy, but we'll survive. And we have steamed dumplings, and neither of us have ever had dumplings.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited because these are gluten-free dumplings. Also, the place we got these from, so we'll start with the dumplings, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll start opening them and getting it ready. It's a little messy.
Eat them? Oh, chopsticks.
And we have gluten-free soy sauce.
You're gonna have to feed me. I'm probably gonna be horrible with chopsticks.
The dumplings were at a place called Robo Mayo. Do you want to open this for me? Just careful of the sauce. It's all over the bottom.
Yeah, I'll do it.
And they were in the Chinatown area, and that Chinatown is actually the oldest in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah, and I think the longest.
Oh dear.
I'm trying to think of. Pretty much, it's the longest one running since it's been established. I think there's one in America somewhere that is actually older, but they've had to move it because of an earthquake or something. The reason why it was established was because there was a gold rush in the 1850s.
1850s, yeah.
And a lot of Chinese immigrants moved over to Melbourne.
Well, a lot of immigrants from everywhere.
Yeah, well, yeah. And, they wanted a second home away from home.
Yeah.
And made it easier. Well, having a Chinatown made it easier for the immigrants to adapt.
Part of your
culture.
I'm
intrigued.
I'm intrigued too. Should we get a shot?
Oh,
Maybe
yes. I'll get a little close-up shot.
I'm gonna try it. Ready?
Thoughts?
It was good.
It's good?
You know what it's like? It's probably, people are gonna be like, what are you on about? This tastes like just a really big ravioli piece. Like a giant ravioli piece. It's really yum.
Isn't that
I'm trying not to get in a messy.
I might be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure one was inspired by the other one.
I can't remember which. That's why I said I might sound dumb here.
Yeah.
Dumplings might have come first, but it tastes like a giant ravioli piece. You never used chopsticks?
Lydia, I'm like the least culture experienced person.
We both have not experienced other cultures that much.
At least you've used chopsticks before. This is probably quite interesting.
You're getting in a mess.
I just feel like
it's gonna... Put your hand underneath in case you drop it. Are you finishing it before you comment on it? I'm waiting with bated breath. I feel like it's a giant ravioli.
It's a giant ravioli.
Yeah, it's nice though.
I can imagine this would be really nice fried as well.
Yeah, they did have a fried option, but it was $1 extra, and I was like, maybe we'll go for the cheap one because we've never had steamed ones anyway.
We should try and make them.
We should. I would love to. You could just eat it with your fingers. Oh, it's dripping a little, I think, because you broke it.
I did not.
Look, you stabbed the chopstick through it.
Lydia.
Shove the whole thing in, go. Oh, yeah.
I feel like we can make these. Okay, we've
relocated.
Relocated because the sun was directly in our eyes.
Ooh, this is weighty. Feel it. It's probably lukewarm now because we had to walk here, but
there you go.
Souvlaki. I thought they were called...
Which one's better?
What?
I thought
they were called gyros.
I think they... I thought Slovaki was strips, like lamb strips.
It is. It's the meat, and then they just put it in pita.
Yeah.
So Souvlaki in a pita.
Yeah, so it's not Slovaki's, but...
I thought it was... Yeah, it is. So it's the actual meat, and then they can either put it in a pita, or you can have it on a kebab stick or something.
Yeah.
Or in a box, the boxes of fries and whatever. It looks so good. It's packed. It's pretty heavy. I'm trying to cover our face.
Oh. I'll get out of it.
It looks very big and yum.
I'm so excited.
Okay, should I try?
Yeah. cross section. That looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna eat mine as well.
You know, I thought I was going to be disappointed by the pita because it's gluten-free, but it's really nice. Give it a big bite. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a big bite when your jaw cracks. Yum. That's pretty good. It just tastes
Nice
really
and refreshing.
fresh.
Oh.
Yes! Great minds think alike.
I feel like
Ooh, I'm dropping my lettuce. I'll put that in the bag.
it's been a long time, but I'd say this is similar to a kebab. And I feel like kebabs are like greasy and heavy.
Yeah.
And this is really fresh. I was expecting heavy and greasy.
Yeah. Apparently, I think it was before the pandemic, Melbourne won Australia's most livable, no, the world's most livable city.
I think they won it like 7 years in a row.
7 years in a row.
Yeah.
Which is wild, but I can kind of see it. There's so much going on here. I feel like everywhere there's so many events, so many different food spots.
Yeah,
I feel
and
like you'd never get bored here. Like the city is so alive
And, like,
with things.
Areas as well. Like the Federation Square.
Yes.
And like
yeah.
even the library has like all these study areas. It's nice.
Really nice city.
Oh,
You can
and
totally
as well,
see why it's so livable.
free trams within the CBD, which we've
trams are
actually
really
used
good.
3 times now.
Yeah, because we used it to get the coffee and then we used it again.
Yeah,
get
so
to
we've used it
Flinders.
3 times now, and it's super convenient and super easy.
The only thing I can say negative about that is the free CBD area is great. Outside of that, you have to have one of their My key cards.
My key cards.
My key cards.
Yeah.
I believe, which is a bit more of a pain because you'd have to go buy it and then set it up and whatever.
Yeah.
And you can't pay any other way. You have to have a My key card. But I think with Sydney,
You can just use your normal debit
I know
card
there's a
or
lot of
credit card.
competition between Sydney and Melbourne, so this isn't saying Sydney's better, but I believe it's Sydney where you can just pay with your debit card,
Oh,
which would be a lot more convenient.
talking on the competition between Sydney and Melbourne,
Yeah.
we had a look because we were interested which city is the biggest city in Australia, and it used to be Sydney, but due to a technicality,
We'll have to check because I didn't open the article. Was it based on a technicality with the boundaries of the city?
Boundaries. It's now
Yes.
Melbourne.
Apparently it's Melbourne.
So
But they're pretty
Fun
close in population.
yeah, much bigger than like any of the other cities
Yeah.
in Australia. So should we?
Anyway, we're going to eat. Catch you later.
Just finished visiting the Australian Centre of Moving Images.
Sounds about right.
ACMI. Pretty much just went through moving
History
images.
of filmmaking and like
Yeah, and
flip
video
books
games
and video
and-
games. It was pretty cool, and I felt like it was really cool to, especially the video game section, because they had a lot of games set up on old
And
consoles
arcades.
as well, which was we had a bit of fun with. But it was pretty dark in there, so we took some phone shots instead of camera shots, and we'll insert a few. But worth checking out if you're here. It is free. Should we head to the next one?
Yeah, which is right next to it.
May not be an artist, but I think this is a blanket fort. Spit in my mouth, look in my eyes.
It's real clean.
Tell me this doesn't look like IKEA. And now I feel like we're in BCF or something.
Yeah, this is a bit ridiculous. Like, I appreciate art, but like,
This is a tent.
it's a tent.
Does the water work?
You might as well.
As van lifers, we always shower.
I mean, there's a drain right here.
Oh. We are pooped.
We are pooped.
We just went to Ian Potter and it's a lot.
It's a sensory overload. Like,
yeah, I feel like when we went to the art gallery in Adelaide, it was all very chilled, low key. It was quite small. Yeah, it was massive, and everything was
loud, warm, dark, lights flashing.
Like, they were all. It was like sensory overload. It was like everything. Like if there was a painting, there was like this crazy print behind it, and lights and like sound. It was like every single room was so intense, like sensory overload.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just made us extra pooped.
Yeah.
After a super long day. But you're right, it is the perfect spot to end the day with the beautiful view behind us.
The sun has now set.
And even though we are knackered, we want to head through Melbourne at night, see if it completely changes at night, and then head to the winter night market.
Yeah.
But
Which,
still.
I mean, already,
It's beautiful.
it's changed
It's
so much. It's like quite dramatic how much it's changed already.
What's really cool is the spot behind us on the Yarra River. So we noticed this earlier in the day and we were thinking of heading there, and we're like, maybe we'll head there at night, see if it lights up. And it has completely lit up. The whole place is packed.
Like they serve pizzas and stuff, I think.
Yeah, they serve pizzas.
They serve pizzas and stuff, and I don't think it's that
It's
badly
called
priced.
Pony Fish Island, I think.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not that badly priced, but sadly the only thing that we could probably have is ciders.
Yeah, only alcohol. But like, we probably should wait for the market. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just cool to check it out.
Melbourne is really well known for their laneways, and we are at probably the most popular one, which is the Graves Lane Street Road. I don't know which one, but it doesn't appear to be that popular at night. It was really busy when we walked past it during the day.
But it's still like lit up, and you can see there's people in the background like eating and everything. So it's still
Busy,
lighting
but not
up.
as busy
but
as it was.
yeah, it was way
earlier
busier in the day.
Such a good thing having the van. Like, we had such a long day, and it's just so nice to come back to the van, refresh, like use a body wipe on our face and whatever.
Have a quick wee, brush my hair, take a minute. It's just really nice.
It is.
The city was so busy still.
I think that's actually busier than it was during the day.
It felt busier than it was during the day for sure. And the whole vibe of the people have changed. It's no longer like business people rushing to work. It's like the younger people trying to get out, go have a meal, that sort of vibe. But we've come back to the van before we head to the market, and it's funny because we parked at the Queen Victoria Market this morning, and it was pretty much completely empty.
Apart from a few trucks.
And now we've rocked up, hopped in the van, but
Completely
the whole
full.
thing is packed.
There's like 1 or 2 spots available.
But not much.
And
And there's a lot of people out driving around, and it's busy, so I feel like the market's going to be busy. I have no idea what to expect.
Yeah. You can tell that they're doing a lot of cooking because it's so hazy from the smoke.
It just smells like so charcoal-y
Yeah, it does.
from all the cooking. They've got someone here carving ice, and I gotta say, I don't know how they're doing this so well.
Also, today is the last winter Christmas in July
Yes.
that they have here at the market. So
Everything is Christmas themed.
Yeah.
There's Christmas decorations, there's Christmas singing,
songs, except for the song that they're doing now.
there's fake snow. It's just really cute.
Very busy, very wild.
Yes, very
Definitely
busy.
out of our comfort zone.
For sure. You think we need that?
No, we're not married. Girl, you know I want your love. I wonder how many people had to touch the bread for them to warrant putting a sign up to say not to touch the bread.
Oh my gosh. It got so busy. I feel like it got busier.
Yeah, it's
so busy.
like literally we were looking at all the food and whatever because I was gonna get something.
Yeah,
But
sadly.
the queues were like wowed in. It would take us probably like
So
half an hour to an hour to get like any food.
There must be like peak time.
Yeah.
What is it, like 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
Because the food lines are just
It's ridiculous.
wrapped
It's
around
so
each of the
wild.
stalls. And sadly, like, because I'm celiac, there's not much that's gluten-free.
Yeah.
So we were still going to try grab something and get stuff for Vian, but, you know, the queues are hectic. We had like a late lunch, so
Yeah.
we're still pretty good from that. But look at the city behind us. I mean,
Whoa.
oh my gosh.
I didn't even like see the towers. Like,
Right?
That's insane.
So impressive.
So beautiful.
What a night, what a day. I think we've had so much fun in Melbourne. We weren't going to come to Melbourne before Tassie, but
Yeah.
we thought while we wait for the ferry, we thought we'd come into the city, and we're so glad we did because
Yeah. It's only like an hour and a half away from
Yeah.
where we were just like staying.
So loads of fun. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you in the next one, whatever we're getting up to.
We forgot to mention that there's a stupid left to right thing because of the trams in Melbourne. So you have to be in the left lane to turn right and then wait for the traffic light to go red. Oh.
Yeah, we were really hoping to avoid these, but yeah, it seems like we're not going to be able to. So what we had a look
I don't
online
even know if I can go down that road.
because Vian's looks like you can, because Vian's friend warned us about it, and it seems that when it goes yellow or red, when it goes red, then you go.
Yeah.
It's like the weirdest setup. Okay, now it's yellow. So I think
People are
if
still
you go slow, I think we did it. I think we did it. Hey.
That is so stupid.
We did it.
But I guess what else would they do with trams?
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. I think we did okay. Hopefully there's no more.